Welcome, small steppers. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever decided in the morning that you were going to break up with Ben and Jerry, only to later that night decide you're going to get back together with Ben and Jerry? If you have, you are not alone. And that is what I'm going to be talking about today, all the reasons behind that kind of self sabotage. So, for those of you who don't know me, my name's Christine Garrison. I'm a health coach. I help empty nester moms get their health back on track so that they can feel younger as they get older and have the next years of their lives being some of the best years of their life. So, let me start by asking you 3 questions, okay? Simple questions. Do you feel instantly satisfied and get instant enjoyment out of eating Ben and Jerry? Now, this doesn't have to be about ice cream. So if ice cream is not your thing, just substitute in cookies or wine or chips or whatever. But we're just going to say Ben and Jerry's for ease sake. So question number 1, do you get instant pleasure from eating Ben and Jerry's? Question number 2, do you feel kind of like you're escaping the stresses of the day by getting together with Ben and Jerry at night? Okay. And then the third, final question, this is a really tough question. Have you ever died while you were eating Ben and Jerry's, sitting on the couch watching Netflix, let's say? Okay. Now, I'm going to assume your answers. I'm going to assume that you answered yes, instantly gratifying. Yes, can help soothe you emotionally from a hard day. And no, you have never actually died eating Ben and Jerry's. I'm hoping especially on that last one. So those answers are actually the exact reasons why self-sabotage takes place. So let me dive in deeper and explain all that with an analogy. And as a mom, I came up with this analogy because it just made sense to me with like how I used to deal with my kids when they were younger. So let me start with this. So everybody has one brain, okay, up here, your noggin, but inside that brain, you actually have 2 minds. And I'm going to give those 2 minds different names. So you have your adult self, your adult mind. That is all about being conscious and rational and logical and concerned with the future. The adult part of you is like, well, I better have a 401k and I better care about my cholesterol levels and my blood pressure, right? I want to be healthy for the future. So that's our adult self. And when we think of ourselves, that's usually what we're thinking of, our adult self. But the adult self is also the one that's like, why can't I just do the things that I know are good for me, but they're so hard to do? Like, why in the morning when I say, I'm not going to have Ben and Jerry's tonight, I end up having Ben and Jerry's? That's not a rational or logical decision. That's because there's somebody else in there with you. That somebody else I call the toddler self. So there is like a 2-year-old inside your head with you at all times. That 2-year-old, that toddler, is all about subconscious. No language or thinking, rational thinking, it's all emotions and feelings, okay? The toddler part of you, that toddler self, does not know that there is a future. It doesn't see more than maybe 5 minutes in front of you. Doesn't know that there's a tomorrow, doesn't care about a tomorrow, doesn't care what your cholesterol level is, or if you have a 401k plan, because it's only living for the moment. So here's what the toddler's goals are. Number 1 is to have instant gratification, so instant pleasure. Number 2, to avoid pain at all costs. And pain is also, it's not just physical pain, it's emotional pain. Emotional pain is sometimes even worse than physical pain, right? You probably have experienced that in your life if you are the same age as I am. So avoiding emotional pain, avoiding physical pain. Number 3 that the toddler is trying to have on board is familiar equals safe to the toddler. This is extremely important, and this is why the question of, have you ever died eating Ben and Jerry's comes in. You have never died eating Ben and Jerry's, sitting on the couch watching Netflix. So, therefore, to your toddler self, it is safe. It is a safe thing for you to do. It's something that actually makes you feel good immediately, maybe distracts you from feeling sad or having a bad day, having those feelings, and you've never died doing it. So to the toddler, that is a perfectly reasonable thing to do. Also within the toddler is our habits. Our habits lie with the toddler because toddlers are kind of lazy, and if they can just make something into a habit, then they don't have to think about it anymore. So the whole part of you in the morning as an adult saying, I'm not going to have Ben and Jerry's tonight, that's great. That's a rational adult self talking. By the time you get to the end of the day, the toddler is maybe throwing a tantrum at that part of the day and is like, oh yes, we are going to have Ben and Jerry's because I know it's going to taste good immediately. I know it's going to give me distraction, and I know it's safe. I've never died doing this. So, oh yes, we are going to have Ben and Jerry's. And that is self-sabotage right there. In a nutshell, it's your adult self having a tug of war or a battle with your toddler self. They're going after each other. And when your toddler wins, that's when we self-sabotage. That's when you get to the end of the night and you're like, all right, Ben and Jerry, come sit on the couch with me. Or all right, to another glass of wine. Or all right, to another bag of cookies or chips. That's because the toddler has won that battle. So what do you do? This is what I work with, obviously, with my individual clients. It's all about stopping self-sabotage. And there's many different forms that self-sabotage can take. So there's many different ways to deal with this toddler. But it all is pretty much coming back to dealing with our toddler self. So as a mom, you already know what to do in a lot of these situations. You just have to apply it to yourself now. So what did we do as moms, right? All those years ago as empty nester moms now. I didn't have to do this too often, but I certainly did use this. The lovely timeout, right? You give your kid a timeout. As an adult, you do the exact same thing. I use this technique almost every single day on myself, and it's just called the 10-minute timeout. So let me tell you how I use it every day. Every day I have my lunch, and every day after I have my lunch, I like to have my dark chocolate. I love my dark chocolate. I love super dark chocolate. It's like at least 85% of the cacao, right? So very dark chocolate, and it tastes really good. So the toddler's like, yummy, I want more, right? The kid wants more of that. But the adult part of me is like, yeah, that's not a good decision to make. So I say to myself, I say to that toddler part of me, okay, you can have more dark chocolate. You just have to wait 10 minutes first, okay? As a mom, you know why it's very important you don't do a strict no to a toddler. What happens if you tell the toddler no, right? You're going to get more of a tantrum. So you say, okay, but we have to wait 10 minutes first. And here's the beauty of it. That toddler self part of you, it has a very short attention span. It like wants instant gratification, and instant does not mean 10 minutes from now. But you didn't say no, so it's a little appeased. So here's what happens to me almost daily is I have my dark chocolate. Ooh, I want more dark chocolate. It's really good. And I say to myself, that toddler, okay, I can have more. I'm just going to wait 10 minutes. I look at the clock. Okay, it's 1 o'clock. At 1:10, if I still want more, I'm going to have more. I'll have another square of dark chocolate. And 9 times out of 10, what ends up happening is 3-4 hours have gone by. I've completely forgotten about my 10-minute time limit. Completely forgotten about it. This happens day after day after day. Now, occasionally, I do remember, and 10 minutes has gone by, and it's like, it's 1:10, and I still want that dark chocolate. Then I have more dark chocolate. That is okay. That's perfectly fine to do. That is a rational, logical thought process. You didn't do it quickly, right? Irrationally. You stopped, you thought about it, you weighed it, you're like, let me sit with it. Nope, I decide I actually do want it. And so you go ahead and have it. It's very important that your toddler self knows and trusts the adult part of you that knows when the adult says, yes, you can have it, that means, yes, you can actually have it. It's very important to have that trust between those two parts of yourself. I go into more of that with my one-on-one clients, but just know that if you say you can have it, then you can have it. But again, 9 times out of 10, I use this every day, I forget about it. The 10 minutes has gone by, or maybe I might remember. I might go, oh gosh, it's 1:15. Oh, it's just a little bit out of my 10-minute limit. And I'll think, oh, do I really want to? Nah, the feeling's passed. Again, the toddler part of you, short attention span. It's moved on to something else. So give this a try in your own life today. Don't be surprised if it doesn't work perfectly the first several times. You may forget to use it. You may forget to set a time limit, but just start trying it out and see if it doesn't. Occasionally you decide, oh, wow, yeah, I didn't crave it as much after 10 minutes, or maybe I went another 10 minutes. That is golden right there. You're reestablishing a little bit of the control back to the adult self and away from the toddler. So if you have any questions or want to chat more with me about any of my private coaching, I have a small steps solution program that I do, and I always have a free 60-minute chat where we can talk about what are your health challenges, what are the ways you're looking to overcome self-sabotage and get your health back on track, all those things. So yeah, if you want any information about that, feel free just to message me here on Facebook and we can set up a time and chat. So I hope that was helpful. Try it out on yourself today, 10-minute timeout, and let me know. Feel free to leave a comment and let me know how it's working for you. Thanks, everybody. Bye.